Hey guys, what is up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, where today we're taking a look at this retro carded Sandman Marvel Legends figure. So recently I've been taking a closer look at my collection, and with a lot of new Marvel Legends figures coming out, I thought it was time to let some of the older figures go, sell them on, and one of them sadly included the Toy Biz Sandman. He's an amazing figure and we'll take a closer look at him in this video, compare him to the new guy we've got here. He's just a bit big and he doesn't scale well with most of my collection now, and I thought, yeah, I'll sell him, but I still need a Sandman. So I didn't pre-order him, he's actually been out for a while. I'm late to this guy, I'm late to this figure. And yeah, I ordered the retro carded Sandman that we can see here, and we're about to take a closer look at him. Before we do guys, let me know down in the comments section below what your favourite Spider-Man retro carded figure has been so far. We've had a lot of characters now, 2 waves, as well as the single releases like Sandman here. So let me know down in the comment section who your favourite's been. I mean, mine has to be Spider-Man, I guess. Let me know what yours is. And while you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and let's take a closer look at Sandman. And here is our retro carded Sandman figure in what looks like very familiar packaging. We get the Spider-Man logo up the top, the Marvel Comics, as we've seen loads of times before. The display, a Sandman image here, which is looking really cool. He's pretty much got the same hair as Norman Osborn. He actually looks really similar to Norman there. Sand Mace, okay. And on the back of the packaging, we get the same image, Marvel Sandman up top, Spider-Man image of the toy, and basically instructions on how to swap things around, and then a write-up of the character, so feel free to hit pause now as my hand gets super shaky. But let's get Sandman out of the packaging. And here is Sandman out of the box, and he is looking fantastic. As I mentioned, I kept a hold of my Toy Biz Sandman for quite a while there. Wasn't really sure about upgrading him, and I'm really happy that I have. He comes with a few accessories, so let's check them out first. We get this big sand fist, and I think this looks amazing, and it's not gonna focus. There we go. So yeah, I mean, the detail on this looks great. This looks like sand to me. The way it's dripping down off the fist, I think looks great. And then all the fingers, the big thumb and everything. Not much more I could ask for. I think this looks excellent and exactly what I'd want from a big sand fist for Sandman. We then get this bit, which I presume is going to go over his forearm. We can check that out in a second. Yeah, probably go down that way, so it must be on his left arm, presuming this one's going to be for the right. I don't know, we'll play around and find out. But yeah, those look great. Just once again, the sand detail on them is fantastic. And then we get this big sand mace, and I think this looks like the bombs in Finding Nemo that is under the sea. I do like all the different size of the sand, whatever you'd call that, sand spikes, and once again the texturing and everything on it looks great. So I'm happy with the interchangeable accessories we get with this guy. Definitely you want the just normal casual looking Sandman, and then you want those accessories to really transform him. So I think that is fantastic. We get this head sculpt, which is amazing. I really like this. I mean, the detail here, just once again, the sand looks amazing. It's nice and rough, great texture. And then the face, the way it combines into it, everything just works so well. What I really like about it is it's fun, and we can actually put Spider-Man's fist through it, which I'll hopefully remember to do later in the video. But even if you don't have a Spider-Man that you can put the fist through, it does just look like he's had a hole punched through his face. So really fun piece, something a bit different, and I really like to see that with Marvel Legends. And then we get Flint Marko here, and he's looking great. The head sculpt is awesome. I do like the hair, and is it just me or does it kind of look like he's got wee bits of sand in the hair? I don't know, the way the light hits it, it just kind of sparkles that wee bit, and I think that's pretty cool, but maybe I'm just imagining things. It's been a long day. The head sculpt looks great. He's got that angry expression, definitely an expression he'd have while he's trying to fight Spider-Man. So yeah, 100% love this head sculpt. And then we get the classic costume, the green striped t-shirt. and the figure's pinless on the top half, not on the legs, but I'm really buying into this pinless tech. At first I wasn't too bothered, but the more figures I get that are pinless, they look so much better. I'm so happy with them. And yeah, I mean, it sucks that they've not carried it all the way through the figure. It looks so much better if he had the arms and the legs. But if I was to choose one half of the body to be pinless, it would be the top half. It looks good. His arms are huge. I mean, look at those biceps. Sandman has not been missing arm day at the gym. Like, they are bulging out his top. And I think that's great. You know, Sandman is a bit bulky, and you want a good opponent to fight Spider-Man. He's looking like the real deal. I like the sculpt in the top here, you know, it does look like a t-shirt, the way it's kind of lying and you can see those folds and everything. I think that's great. And the paint's great, you know, nothing sloppy about it at all. Really happy with it. Can line it up a bit better there at the back. And then it doesn't line up at the front. I don't know, that's something to note, I guess. And then we get the trousers, and there's something that I really like about the Toy Biz Sandman, which we'll compare very soon. But this guy was really gritty. I really got the impression that he was covered in sand all over. And that isn't the case with this figure. It's not a big gripe or anything. I don't expect Sandman to be all sandy all the time. But I do get that kind of hint with the trousers. I do feel like there is a sort of texture going on in the trousers that is kind of sandy. But once again, maybe I'm just completely imagining things. But it's great, you know, I like the tone they've used, I like the sculpt of the legs, I'm sure these legs have been used time and time again. It sounded like I was saying something negative there, that this figure was missing that sandy aspect, when I actually kind of wanted to say I feel like the trousers are nicely textured to the point where you could maybe say that they're kind of sandy, but I actually think I'm just losing my mind. I don't think there's anything like that going on. Great looking Sandman overall. The boots look great. You can get a closer look there. But yeah, I'm really happy with this Sandman figure, if you can't tell already. Something I did notice taking a closer look is that is like sort of a different colour to the bottom half of the leg, and I'm not losing my mind with that. I can see it off camera and on. This definitely looks a bit darker than the rest of the leg, which is weird. Yeah, a wee bit weird. So here is our new retro Marvel Legends Sandman next to the old Toy Biz Sandman. And yeah, I was kidding myself on when I was telling myself I didn't need to upgrade this figure. He is just a bit too old. He's a great looking piece, but just not for a newer collection. And I've been picking up loads of the retro Spider-Man figures. You can find a lot of those figures over on the channel page. Feel free to check out those videos. I've made a good few on loads of the retro carded Spider-Man figures now. Yeah, the Toy Biz just doesn't hold up. But overall, he is a nice piece. He's a great figure. But when you want to pose him around with some of the newer Spider-Man figures, just doesn't really work. And then, as I said as well, he's too tall. He's way too big. And for that reason, I'm going to sell him. And I'm really happy to have this new guy. Speaking of newer Spider-Man retro carded figures, here is our retro carded Spider-Man, and these two look great next to one another. The colours are fantastic. They look like they've been ripped straight from the show, straight from a comic page. Really bright, vibrant, fantastic sculpts on both of these guys. I'm so happy to have these figures. Oh, they look excellent. Here is our newer retro carded symbiote Spider-Man, and once again these guys look great next to one another. Can't wait to recreate some Spider-Man 3 scenes with these figures. And then here is our retro carded Sandman next to the new retro carded Shocker figure. And I love this new Shocker figure. I'm loving this new Sandman, and I can't wait to build my Spider-Man villain collection from these new retro carded figures. I really need a Doc Ock, I need a Lizard. Who else do I need? We've got Hobgoblin and we've got Green Goblin from the first wave. So I don't know who's left. Once I get Doc Ock and Lizard, I'm going to be extremely happy, and they're all going to look so good next to one another. If you're looking to build a Spider-Man collection at the moment, I'm going to point you straight in the direction of these Retrowave figures. They've not really missed. I mean, Yeah, I had a lot to say on the Hobgoblin figure, did like a 20-minute video on it, but for the most part, all these figures have been fantastic, and I will include Hobgoblin in that statement. And so I had to do it. I had to show off this alternative head sculpt, and I think it's amazing. You can see from all angles that this looks pretty epic. You've got Spider-Man punching his fist right through Sandman's head, and I wish that this was something that we would get more from Hasbro, because this is extremely fun. I mean, it just gives you that extra option to display this figure in another way, and it's epic. I can't really say much more. The only thing about it is Sandman's getting a hole punched straight through his face, and he's looking pretty neutral. He's not too bothered about it. I think they would have been better off using like half of this head sculpt with the sand hole here, and then giving us just a neutral pose on this face. So yeah, maybe swap the faces round, but it works well for the most part. So a couple things that I want to know on this figure. Changing the accessories around is fine, there's nothing too difficult. It was harder to get this fist to stay in the peg hole. This one was absolutely fine, this one's fine now. Changing the head sculpt over, this head sculpt was a bit tricky to get on. That was a real tight squeeze. I got there eventually, even though I don't think it was on properly. Not a big deal at all, but just something that's worth mentioning. Also, with the alternative sand accessories, they are a bit bigger, they're a bit heavier, so I did have to balance it out a wee bit to get them to stand up and not fall over. Once again, not a big issue, it still looks great, but something worth mentioning. And yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. This figure has really outgrown my expectations. This is similar to the Shocker figure that I picked up from the Wave 2 of the retro carded figures. Wasn't planning on picking these figures up, but now that I have and I've got them in hand, they're amazing. They're actually some of my favourite figures from these retro waves. So if you want a new Sandman figure, I 100% recommend picking this guy up. We've not spoken about the Sandman Builder figure, which is a lot of people's favourites, and it is a bit bigger. It's a bigger figure. This figure is a lot smaller in comparison, and as you've seen how he stood up against Spider-Man, for me that's fine. I think a few folk would definitely prefer a bigger Sandman, but that's really the only big issue to bring up. I mean, apart from that, the accessories are fantastic, the sculpt's great, the paint and everything is on point, the sand texture, I mean, really blown me away. I'm loving this guy, and yeah, I've said all that needs to be said. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and while you're down there guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and feel free to hop on over to the channel page, check out any other videos up over there. I've got plenty of videos now looking at these retro Spider-Man figures, and also feel free to check out my Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description below, and I'll probably have a few photos of Sandman up over there. With all that being said guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.